Hello and welcome to the 6th grade Science Awards for 7th period 2019 to 2020 school year. Our first award is going to a young lady who was always prepared for class, always did her assignments, always did them to the best of her abilities. And when we did a particular project, she was the only one to succeed in the whole 6th grade. And the project was to build a rocket that could launch and land on Mars. And so this award is the Martian because she's the only one that actually made it to Mars, and that goes to Megan. So Megan, that was still like the coolest thing that ever happened in science class. Good job. Our next student is receiving an award. He is a funny student. He is social. He's outgoing. He's very kind, very respectful, and really was an awesome kid to get to know in science class and second step. And this student is receiving the award for most popular because I always saw him talking to his friends, whether it was in the classroom or out in the hallway or at gym or lunch or anywhere. He was always surrounded by people, and just you could tell that people really enjoyed being around him. And so most popular goes to Dylan. Dylan, you're awesome. Our next student receiving an award was the student who was always smiling, always in a good mood. And it was contagious. Like, other people wanted to be around him because he just had so much joy. And so the happiest student in all of 6th grade is Jace. So Jace, thank you for always being so cheerful. Our next student is a student who really likes science class. And it was great to get to know him in science class and on science academic team. And they did a certain project where they had to build a roller coaster, and the theme of this student's roller coaster was Jurassic Park. And like we're Parke Heritage, they use Park spelled like it is in our school's name. And but I honestly think if it ever was to open, whether that be a theme park that was pretend or like an actual bring back the dinosaurs kind of theme park, I think this is the guy for the job. So most likely to open Jurassic Park is Aiden. Good job, Aiden. Up next is a young lady who I got to have in advisory as well as science class, and she was always making sure her grades were up in all of her classes, and she worked hard to do that. And not only did she work hard in her science class, but she always, every single day wanted to go and practice in band, practice her instrument. And so I thought that was really neat that she worked so hard at learning her instrument and getting better at playing it. But the thing that always, like, when I think of her, the thing that comes to my mind is that she always had on camouflage. And so our Camo Queen for 7th period was Serenity. And so Serenity, rocking that camouflage, playing your instrument, you're awesome. Up next is a young lady who worked hard and was always trying her best. And it doesn't matter if it was in the classroom or if it was in gym or in lunch or in the balcony, everywhere I saw her at school, she was always trying to keep peace. And so if people were arguing or fussing, she would try and diffuse the situation and try and make everybody feel more calm. And I think that we need more people like that. And so the Peacekeeper, for always wanting to have calm and peaceful places and interactions with other students, goes to Claire. So Claire, I'm really thankful for you doing that. Our next student is one who just had a heart of gold and was always there for his friends and would always get his work done in class, and was really fun to get to know this school year. But anytime there was some free time in the classroom, he liked to play basketball. But I think that's because he likes to play basketball all the time. Like, anytime I drive past his house during the pandemic or just going anywhere, and I'd see him outside with his brother or friends, they'd be playing basketball. And so my Rather Be Playing Basketball award goes to Quentin. So Quentin, good job. You're an awesome basketball player. Up next is a young man who, would always do what he needed to do for school, would work hard, came to class prepared, was had a good attitude most of the time. And something that stood out to me this school year is that his favorite assignments were the ones that had to do with learning about animals and their ecosystems. And so I know that he loves animals, and I could see him someday having a career in that. And so most likely to work with animals goes to Mason. Good job, Mason. Up next, this young lady, she always with her friends, and just very social and very friendly, and she was a great student, good to get to know in the classroom, and I'm really happy that I got to have her in class. And the thing that stood out to me about this student, they had science drawers, and so in my classroom there were drawers that you can keep your materials in, and sometimes I'd randomly check to make sure that they were clean or whatever, and a lot of them were not in the 6th grade, but this student, hands down, her drawer was always the neatest. Everything was in line. Everything was perfect and organized and clean. And so the Neatest Drawer award goes to Riley. Good job, Riley, for keeping it organized. Up next, we have a student who every time we did a project where they had to create or make something, she would impress me. And she just has a real ability to be a problem solver. So if there was issues, like they would have a project that had a budget, and if there was any time where she was just a problem solver, that was like what she was very, very gifted at. And even though she has lots of other talents, I could see her being famous someday for something really interesting and cool. And I think that she is going to invent something awesome. Something that we're all going to use every day, and we'll all be like, yeah, she invented this. We knew her. We all went to school with her. And so most likely to invent something awesome goes to Jessica. So I look forward to seeing whatever it is that you invent, Jessica. Up next is a young man who he was always friendly, always and just very polite, very kind. If you would see him, he would always stop and make time to ask how you were doing and see how you were. And that always stood out to me. And he was kind and polite to his friends. Even if he didn't agree with something that they were saying or doing, he would be kind about it and be respectful. And so the student who is most polite to teachers and other students goes to Cameron. Good job, Cameron. Our next award goes to a young lady who was new this school year, and I am so glad that she moved here. And she was such a hard worker. She would always try her hardest, ask questions when she didn't understand something, very brave like that. She would work well with any group. She would always try her best. And something that she would always do is she was very creative. She was very artistic. She would always draw, whether it was pictures for her friends or for the teachers, or if they had a project, she would do all the artwork on it. And so my most artistic student in 6th grade was Kira. Thank you so much for all of your artwork. You're an awesome artist. Our next award goes to a student who moved in kind of later in the school year, and he's so tough. So no matter what this kid has gone through, he is strong and he's resilient. And I have such high hopes for this young man. And so the toughest student in the 6th grade, hands down, goes to Jacob. So Jacob, you're tough, you're awesome, and I think you're great. This next student is very friendly. And so throughout the school year, living in the community, sometimes like we were in a parade, and I would see this student, and sometimes 6th graders are going to pretend they don't see you because you're their teacher and it's embarrassing, but not this kid. He was friendly and talked to me, and same thing goes at school. Whenever he sees me in the hallway, he's very friendly. We'll stop and talk, friendly with his other classmates, and just a very outgoing kiddo. And so the most friendly 6th grader goes to Xander. So good job being friendly, and keep it up. The next student, this award is going to her because she is resilient and has this attitude where you just can't give up. No matter what things happen, some things aren't that great. But instead of giving up and quitting, she just keeps moving forward. Keep on swimming. And so I think of Dory from Finding Nemo, who that was her mantra, was just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And eventually things do get better and things do work out. And Dory is awesome. She brings joy to everybody, and she's just a wonderful addition. And so the Just Keep Swimming Award for not giving up, for keep moving forward through hard times, and for bringing people joy, making people happy, goes to Maddie. So Maddie, you're wonderful, and we're so thankful that you are at Parke Heritage Middle School, and we all love you. Our next award goes to a young man who he's always there for his friends. He's always asked how I was, which again, that you don't always get that with middle schoolers. So I really appreciated that. And if there was ever any problems in the classroom, he would always want to try and help. He just does a really great job and cares a lot about people. And so I think this kid has real potential to be a counselor someday, to help people, because he's very good at that. And he cares about people very deeply. And I think that is a great attribute to have. And he's a great student, always worked hard, always did all the assignments great. And that goes to Caden. And so Caden, I think that if that's a career path that you want to take, I think you would be so good at it. Thanks for always helping everyone. And our last student is a student who moved in a little bit later in the school year. And so the thing that was just very evident about him is how energetic he is, how excited he was about projects, and he just had very high energy, very excited. And so the most energetic student, and this goes to Bradley F. We don't have your school picture, so you get this cool little stick figure guy. So I just want to thank 7th period for an amazing school year. And I'm just really glad that I got to know you guys. You are awesome, wonderful kids. You're creative, you're helpful, you're funny. And I'm just so glad that I got to be your teacher. I hope you guys have a great summer. And I really can't wait to see you all in the fall.